99% of dating advice you hear in your life is trash. And the big reason is that you hear a lot of conflicting advice. For example, you have people telling you to just be yourself because there's someone out there who will accept you for who you are. And you take notes and you're like, okay, just be myself. And on the other hand, you have people telling you, work on yourself first, which implies that you have to change something within yourself, which further implies that you cannot just be yourself. Instead, you have to change who you are in some way, which is confusing because it's advice that literally contradict one another. And you have a lot of advice that is just like this, and it becomes hard to tell what is good advice and what is bad advice. However, in this case at least, there also exists advice that a lot of people say that might just be the truth. It might just be the holy grail, and that is to be comfortable with being yourself. That you have to be comfortable with who you are. And a lot of us tend to overestimate ourselves, and we are like, yep, I'm comfortable with who I am because I love myself. But because I loved myself, it did not make sense to me why other people did not love me the same way I loved myself. And it was confusing to me, and I tried to get rid of this confusion, and because of that, I needed others to love me as much as I love myself. However, I recently realized, which is what, like, I kind of wish I realized this earlier, but yeah, eventually I realized it, and it's, I guess, better soon than never. I realized that if I needed external validation in order to accept myself and in order to be comfortable with myself, then I was not really comfortable with myself to begin with. And so you have to genuinely be comfortable with being yourself. But the question is, if you can be comfortable with being yourself, is it true that other people will then start to like you for who you are? Well, I realized that it depends on how you make those people feel. If you make them feel good, then they will like you. If you make them feel bad, then they will not like you. And so the reason why I stopped caring about whether other people like me or not is because I gained this wisdom, and I realized that people do like me if I can make them feel good. And if they don't like me, then theoretically at least, I can get them to like me by simply making them feel good. And there is this quote, I know it's cringe, but it really fits in this context. And the quote is, "Your boos mean nothing. I know what makes you cheer." This is a quote from Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. I know it's cringe, but it really fits in this context, so I just had to use the quote here, okay? So like, when people don't like me, when people reject me and don't accept me for who I am, it means nothing because I know how to theoretically get them to like me. Because, as the saying goes, people don't remember what you say or what you do. People only remember how you make them feel. And so I realized, just like all those nice guys eventually realize that just because they are nice to someone does not mean that they have to feel entitled to validation from that other person. I realized that just because I am entertaining, charismatic, attractive, all that kind of stuff, does not mean that other people have to like me for that. Because if people like me, I realized it's not because I am entertaining or an interesting person, but because I make them feel good.